He was the first player with 3,000 hits. He was probably the best all-around baseball player in the 19th century. Yet he was a major influence in creating baseball's color line. This is the story of Cap Anson, a legendary player with a complex legacy. Adrian Constantine Anson was born on April 17, 1852, in Marshalltown, Iowa. As a young man, Anson had a history of mischievousness. After just one semester, the University of Iowa asked him to leave because of his bad behavior. Anson began playing baseball, and at 19 joined the Rockford Forest Cities of the National Association, the first fully professional sports league in baseball. He led the league in doubles in its first year of existence. A year later, he was traded to the Philadelphia Athletics and led the league in on-base percentage. He would be in Philadelphia for 4 seasons. While Anson was a competent hitter, he hadn't achieved superstar status. That would change in 1875, during his final year with the Athletics, when William Hubert of the Chicago White Stockings recruited Anson to improve the team. Poaching players mid-season violated the rules, and to escape sanctions, the White Stockings left the National Association to join the new National League. In 1879, Anson was named captain manager of the Chicago White Stockings. This new position gave him a nickname, Cap, though the newspapers called him Captain Anson. With Anson at the helm, the White Stockings won 5 pennants between 1880 and 1886. During that period, Anson introduced several innovations, including the use of a third base coach, fielders backing up each other, and the rotation of 2-star pitchers. He pushed for aggressive base running, especially since he had probably baseball's fastest player, King Kelly. This speed on the base paths regularly unnerved their opponents. He was also the innovator of the modern spring training, where the players went to places with warmer climates to prepare for the season. Before that, players prepared for the season in their home city. Regardless of the climate, Anson imposed strict discipline on his team, a policy supported by team owner Albert Spalding. He marched his team onto the field using a military formation and banned alcohol during the playing season. While some players grumbled, his success was undeniable as they won several championships. This also helped his star King Kelly perform to his abilities. Once Kelly left Chicago, he gave in to alcohol and other abuses, leading to his rapid decline. In his later years as player manager, however, he mellowed, and he got his second nickname, Pop. In 1891, Anson batted .291, breaking a 20-year streak of hitting at least .300. The following season, he had his lowest batting average ever with .272, but he would bounce back and hit at least .314 in the next 4 seasons. He would finish 1897, his final year as a player, with a .285 average. He retired as a ball player at 45. When Anson left after the 1897 season, the Chicago White Stockings became the Chicago Orphans, referencing the fact that the team lost its father figure. While the team was using this name, another Chicago team used the name White Stockings and joined the new American League. This team later shortened its name to the Chicago White Sox. Meanwhile, the Orphans were renamed the Cubs in 1903 because of its many young players. Anson played an incredible 27 seasons. He was a 4-time batting champion and led the league in WAR twice, in RBIs 8 times, and on-base percentage 4 times. His best season was probably 1881, when he led the league in WAR, hits, RBIs, on-base percentage, OPS, and total bases. While Anson's on-the-field achievements are undeniable, he also played a significant role in one of the darkest chapters in baseball. Anson was openly racist and used his star power and influence to prevent blacks from playing. The decision to unofficially ban blacks from Major League Baseball was probably made by the owners behind closed doors. Anson didn't create segregation, but he helped institutionalize it. In August 1883, he refused to play an exhibition game against the Toledo Blue Stockings simply because their catcher, Moses Fleetwood Walker, was black. He only took the field when told he would forfeit gate receipts if his team didn't play. But he was adamant that he wouldn't take the field when facing teams with black players. This public pressure from probably the game's biggest name made teams hesitate to sign black players. In 1887, he again refused to play an exhibition game in Newark, as his opponent had an all-black battery. His public and vocal opposition against black players led many historians to say that Anson was mainly responsible for baseball's color line. Though racist views were prevalent at the time, Anson was probably the game's biggest star, and his well-publicized opposition to black players made headlines. However, Bill James noted that while Anson's impact was significant, the Jim Crow policies would still be in force even if Anson hadn't been born. According to reports on gambling from 1876 to 1900, Anson was the most prolific gambler and placed the most bets. His teammate King Kelly was fourth, yet despite all the controversy, Anson compiled an impressive array of stats. Anson's career stats vary depending on the source and the extent of research done on old box scores. Rules were also different when recording stolen bases. Complicating this further was a one-time rule in 1887 when balls were counted as hits. A major source of discrepancy, though, is whether the source considered the National Association a major league. If not, this would effectively erase the first 5 years of Anson's career. He would have the following totals. He had 87.2 WAR and a batting average of .331. He also had 3,012 hits, 97 home runs, 529 doubles, 124 triples, 1,722 runs, 1,880 RBIs. If the National Association stats are recognized as what's done by BaseballReference.com, here are Anson's stats. He had a 94.3 WAR with 3,435 hits. He also batted .334 with 97 home runs, 582 doubles, and 142 triples. Anson also scored 1,999 runs and drove in 2,075. He also stole 277 bases. When he retired, he held the record for most games played, hits, and RBIs, among others. These were eventually broken. However, Anson still holds several Cubs franchise records, including the most career RBIs, runs, singles, and doubles. He also remains the only Cub in the 3,000-hit club. Cap Anson was also among the most successful managers in baseball's early years. He had 1,297 wins against 947 losses for a winning percentage of 57.8%, still the 8th best in baseball history. In 1939, Anson was inducted into the Hall of Fame. He died on April 14, 1922. He was 69. Famous sports writer Hugh Fullerton called him the greatest man in the history of baseball. Thank you for watching. Which do you think has more weight in Cap Anson's legacy? Is it his outstanding achievement on the field or his role in segregation in baseball? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing. It helps a lot.